Bemidji State will face the number 1 seed Minnesota State at 6:07, with the winner being awarded the Mason Cup. Mike, an opening statement headed into the CCHA championship game tomorrow.
Yeah, first of all, thanks for being here, joining us. Excited about what's in front of us for Saturday for multiple reasons. I want to thank the CCHA for coming in and giving us a platform to be able to hopefully kick off a championship that I think is special with the history of the Mason Cup and the people that were involved in the CCHA previously. We want to just make sure we get off on the right foot. So thanks to our leadership with Don Lucia and the rest of the CCHA staff. We're excited about being at home. Last weekend we took a step that we didn't take last year and found a way to win that hockey game, to have an opportunity to play in this, and we look forward to playing in front of our fans, our friends, family, city, university, our fellow students, and really everybody in this area. And it's fitting to be playing against Bemidji, one of our oldest rivalries. I've got a relationship that'll last beyond this weekend with Tom Serratori, and the two programs have gone head-to-head for many, many years, and a tremendous amount of respect for them and how they do their business. So with that, we'll take some questions.
A reminder, if you do have a question in the audience, please raise your hand, and Noah will be around with a microphone. Please state your name and affiliation. For those of us via Zoom, if you have a question, please utilize the raise hand feature at the bottom of your Zoom window. You'll be made a panelist, and remember to unmute yourself. And again, please state your name and affiliation. Take it open for questions. Shane?
Shane Frederick, Puckado, Rink Live, others. This is for Mike and both players too, but how much motivation was there last week and just throughout the playoffs to get to this point, to play in this game at home, considering last year not making it and the year before missing out obviously because of COVID?
Yeah, Freddie, I think, going into last weekend, obviously there's a little bit of past motivation there with how last year went, but I think our group's done a good job all year kind of turning that page and leaving last year in the past. We closed that chapter a while ago. So like I said, I think there was maybe a little bit of extra motivation, but I think our main focus was just, writing our own history this year and turning the page, taking control of what we can do, and I think that's just one day at a time, not just worrying about that game last weekend. I think we're going to try to do the same thing this week, just turn the page and just keep writing our own history here. But I think last year's in the past, and this is just a new time for us.
Yeah, I'd agree with what Wyatt said. I think we worked all year towards earning home ice in the playoffs, so obviously we're really excited to play in front of our home fans tomorrow night, and should be a great atmosphere. So kind of like what Wyatt said, just take it a day at a time, and hopefully we're prepared for tomorrow night.
I'll echo a couple of those things. The one thing that didn't get said is, I think there was some motivation there. But it was more so on the idea of not taking advantage of the opportunity that we had a year ago. And our leadership group, these two guys included, have been phenomenal at doing what they just said, turning the page and moving on to the next day, whether we've won a hockey game or we haven't, whether it's a Monday or a Thursday. And so we're going to continue with that path, and hopefully it continues to serve us well.
Go to Zoom. Kevin Dudley.
Kevin with the Free Press. This one could be for either of the two defensemen. What are some of the biggest challenges you guys see when you watch the line with Irulo and both Sillinger brothers on film?
Yeah, I think with those three guys, I don't think it's soft skill. It's more hard skill. Like, they're very skilled players, but they also play hard. So, we got our hands full with their forward group for sure, and it's a challenge we're definitely looking forward to.
I think echoing after Jack, it's not just soft skill. Those guys work hard. They earn those bounces and those points they get. I think that whole group does a good job. Including Rosen on the back in there, he's been good for them all year. So I think our job, just going to be play our game, play hard physical hockey, and them, keep them on the outside, and just do what we can do, and just like I said, play hard on those guys because like I said, they've earned everything that they've gotten. So I think that's going to be our thing. Got to earn shutting them down.
Jess Myers.
Hi, Hi, Mike. It's Jess Myers with the Rink Live. That banner behind you says CCHA on it, but you talk about the longstanding rivalry with Bemidji. Does your mind drift back to the NCHA at any point? And, obviously, you had some games with them in college, going to All Seasons Arena or going to the MAC in St. Cloud or wherever it happened to be. I mean, is there a moment where you kind of pinch yourself about how far these programs have come?
Jess, it's good to hear from you. And Tommy and I both had hair then. So that tells you how long ago that was in the NCHA. And yeah, at times it's more when Tommy and I and a couple of the other guys, the coaches at Minnesota and people within our footprint here in the state, when you start to reminisce about hockey in the state, two icons, Don Rose and Bob Peters, two people that have been mentors for, not only people that have become after them with Tommy, myself, Troy Judding, but really just young men like these two for a long time other than just the game of hockey. And so it's a great rivalry. It's one that has stood the test of time. Both programs, I think, are very proud programs because they do reflect on their history with the idea of trying to continue to climb the mountain in their future. And both of us are trying to do that, and that's what I think you'll see here on Saturday.
In the stands here, Shane?
Shane Frederick got to kind of going off that question, and for Wyatt and Jack, you guys have both played a lot of games against Bemidji over the years. I think this is the first time in a long time that you've swept them in the regular season. Most of your games have not been like that throughout the rest of your career, earlier in your careers. A lot of splits, a lot of close games, overtime games. What's it like to play them, and what does the rivalry mean to you guys?
Yeah, I think both sides probably feel like we played each other 15 times or so the last 2 years, but they're obviously a great team and very hard to play against. They're going to make life hard on us all night, going to make us earn everything we get. Yeah, I got a lot of respect for their program. They're always well coached, and they have a lot of good players, so it's always fun to play those guys.
Yeah, I agree with Jack on that. Like I said, it feels like we've played them a ton. Even the class, my class, same guys with like Armour and Adams and those guys, you play them 4 or 6, however many times a year. So, you get kind of, it's fun competing with all those guys. You earn some respect, for how their work ethic and just how they coach, how they play their game. I don't think there's a team in the country that doesn't respect someone like Bemidji State. So I think we just got to do our best, come out here and battle, and we got to earn a victory tomorrow because it's not going to be given to us.
Jess?
Mike, with what the players said about how you've played the Beavers so much over the last couple of years, can you throw a new wrinkle at them at this point in the year without giving away secrets, obviously, or both teams pretty much are who they are at this point?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm sure Tommy will mix in a face-off play or we'll look at something like that. But at the end of the day, a lot of the hay's in the barn. You can adjust certain little nuances, but at the end of the day, the guys are going to make they're going to make what happens on Saturday happen. And you always, maybe the first couple of minutes, there might be a little bit of the nerves, but at the end of the day, you kind of turn back into what you are and what your identity is. And so, for us, we know what they're going to be. They know what we're going to be. And it's about sticking with the game and trying to get to your game as fast as possible. And so for us, we can't contribute to Bemidji's offense because they're going to defend. They've done that not just this year, but ever since I've been able to have an opportunity to be either behind the bench or playing against them. They're very good defensively, very well coached, incredibly disciplined. They don't go to the box. They make the game hard on you if you're going to try and win a hockey game. So that's what we know is in front of us, and we're going to have a good start and a good middle and a good finish if we expect that to get done.
Well, this goes to Shane. Mike, the Minnesota State official Twitter account just posted that the game is sold out tomorrow. The building capacity, more than 5,200. How about that for your fan base and going into tomorrow's championship game?
I don't have tickets anywhere. If they're saying it's sold out, it's sold out from my end. So I want to, let's make that public. The second thing is just, what our fan base, and when I sit and listen to our athletes talk about this season and even previously, they always talk about how special it is to play in this building. And the only way that it becomes special is if you get to share those experiences with people that mean the most to you. And year in and year out, and I'm going to say here over the last 4 or 5 years, especially even after COVID, when sports and entertainment were taken away from all of us, they've come back and then some. And so we appreciate our students, our student body, the community. They've put their arms around us, and as I've mentioned multiple times, we're very appreciative that they come to watch the team that it is playing at home, and they've done it week in, week out this entire season, and so very, very happy that there's going to be an environment for both ourselves and Bemidji State to showcase the two teams that are left.
Shane?
Mike, you have two Hobie Baker finalists in Nathan Smith and, of course, Dryden McKay, and they've gotten a lot of publicity over the year. You're sitting here with two of your captains who are both defensemen, and could you just talk a little bit about how the importance of that D-core and how they've played for you this year in between those guys who get all the attention?
You know what, blessed, fortunate, as coach speak is this, is the great thing is this group really plays for each other. And I think that shows in the selflessness that they play with, whether it's the guy next to me going through a helmet or two, blocking shots. Jack McNeely's won an awful lot of hockey games in our jersey in the time that he's been here. He's helped elevate our program, as has Nathan Smith, as has Dryden McKay, and the young men that have came before them. And so I think they look at the opportunity that they have. They're continuing looking forward. But this group has been a blast to be around. Whether it's been a good weekend, not so good weekend, they show up on Monday and they go to work. And so from that standpoint, it's been very beneficial from my standpoint, being behind the bench, to let these guys go out and do what they do, because they've penned a pretty special season up until this point, and they've got an opportunity to write another chapter on Saturday.
Back to Zoom. Kevin?
Mike, just I know Bennett Smolik's been dealing with an injury here lately. Just an update on him and the rest of your team's health going into the game tomorrow.
We're healthy. I feel for Bennett just because he's not. And as a coach, that's tough to explain to a player, tough for a player to understand. He'll be back, and he'll be wearing our jersey a lot here in his time. But other than that, we're healthy.
Jess?
Mike, you talk about the nerves and playing under the bright lights and all of that. I wanted to ask, just the experience of last year, playing in a regional final, and granted it was, in an empty building for the most part, playing in the Frozen Four, or Hockey Day this year, how much do experiences like that contribute to maybe calm the nerves a little bit, or give your team a sense of we've been there and we've done this kind of thing?
I hope we can capitalize on that. I can tell you in the first, maybe 30 minutes last year, we weren't exactly feeling that at Quinnipiac when we were playing Quinnipiac, and we were down, but the guys found a way. And experience is your best teacher, whether it's as a coach or as a player. And I don't want to speak for these guys, but I can tell you that when we've gotten into adverse situations this season, I know I've drawn on the experience that we had last year, and I'm assuming the players have also. But each game takes its own personality. Each opportunity is one you don't want to let go by, and this group's done a good job up until this point with that, and I believe they're prepared for what's in front of them.
Mike, you probably don't want to get into individual awards. Your team obviously excelled greatly in that, and then yourself as Coach of the Year. What does receiving that honor among your peers mean?
Well, you know what, it's a little bit of the quarterback mentality. I haven't thrown a ball. I haven't done anything. I'm surrounded by very quality people, not only as human beings, but the job they do. My associate head coach, Todd Connaught, Paulie Kirtland being with us, our staff, and most importantly, the players. You know, so from that standpoint, you appreciate it with the other coaches in the league voting that. And I told the guys that, you know, the people that have been recognized from our league, they should be proud of that, because it was, you know, it's other coaches showing the respect. But at the end of the day, I will speak for the guys just on one point. Their actions have always been about team first. I think the guys are very appreciative, as I am, at the recognition. But those are for later. And the journey they're on is what's most important right now moving forward.
We have time for one more. Sorry for those with their hands up on the line here. Commissioner Lucia coming up next. Jess Myers with the final.
Mike, your commissioner, you probably heard this the one year he was your boss, but he used to like to say the hardest game you'll play all season is when you're trying to end somebody else's season. Have you thought about that in terms of, you know, this is a one and done, and especially for Bemidji with their backs against the wall, and, you know, does it take a different effort or a different attitude?
Not tremendously from playing Bemidji, or who we're going to be playing down the road just because of this. Every single time you play Bemidji, you need to earn it, as Wyatt mentioned earlier. And so we know every time we play Bemidji, we get their best. Now, what is that best at that time, and how do we react to it? There's your 60 or 65 minutes or 65 plus. But at the end of the day, this one, you know, this one carries a lot of weight behind it because it's for a trophy. It's to hang a banner. It's for some of these guys' last game in this building. And so there's a lot of nuances to it, but at the end of the day, you ask the guys to enjoy it. When you have an opportunity like this, grab a hold of it and ride it for as long as you can. And I know Bemidji's going to try and do the same thing, because they don't want their season to end. And we want to be able to finish our chapter in this book the right way. So we're excited about the opportunity.
Thank you, gentlemen. Good luck tomorrow.
Thanks.
Thank you.